Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Chad here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we've got another Gun Gripe episode. And look, there is a lot of stuff going on, guys. There's so much stuff going on in the Second Amendment community that we need to shed light on, that we have so many Gun Gripe episodes cut on all of this stuff that you're gonna see some of them start popping up in your feed, probably a little more often than you're used to seeing. But we're not trying to clog up your feed, guys, but there's a lot of important information that needs to be put out. And I want those videos to be separate videos because I want them to have their own sort of little breadcrumb trails in terms of metadata and getting out there in the YouTube world. So
absolutely.
I want to briefly in this video mention a few of the things that we're going to be discussing, and some of the videos are going to be mixed in. Some of these things are time sensitive, guys, so I hope you understand that if you don't see a video on these subjects pop up immediately, don't think that we're ignoring it. We're filming them all right now, but you'll see the videos come out, kind of as
coming
they're
up on Gun Gripes.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing is the nomination of William Barr. That's something we're going to be discussing in today's Gun Gripe. But also, there's been some bipartisan support for universal background check legislation. That's from January 9th. Another thing that we have to discuss is Feinstein's assault weapons ban, also known as S66. That came out on January 10th. We also, that's just more of the same. We've also got to discuss the stuff that's going on with Jeremy Kettler. So all of these things, and that's just from January 15th. So literally all these things are going to be coming down the pipeline that we have to discuss. So guys, I hope you understand that we just want to put the word out there. We want you guys to understand that we care deeply about the Second Amendment, and anything that infringes upon our rights, we want to immediately ring the bell and make sure you guys know what's going on. So today, we're going to put these away for now. We're primarily going to discuss the nomination of William Barr. This one is pretty disturbing, and this is the one that struck me in the most direct way. I mean, yeah, the assault weapons ban, it sucks, but we're going to talk about that in a future video. The thing about William Barr is he's a known anti-gunner, and he has Trump's support. That's what gets me. So Trump has gone, on record many times to mention his love and for the Second Amendment and his willingness to protect the Second Amendment. But you have to really wonder, so by letting this guy in, and by supporting William Barr, that's some pretty treacherous stuff going on because, not only is William Barr a fervent anti-gunner, he wants to confiscate firearms. Like he is so far down that rabbit hole that if he could confiscate them, he would. And that's scary. And look, Attorney General's got a lot of dang power. You putting somebody like that in power, that can have some dangerous implications. So before we gripe and discuss this anymore, I want immediately to let you guys know, please guys, go over to GOA's website and go to the call now section. There's like a little click where you can call now button and call your senators and oppose this decision. Make sure, and there's also areas where you can write in if you want, but a phone call, blowing up their phones is a great way to do it. It's scary, guys. This could go a lot of different ways because if you read down through this, and we're not going to go every bell and whistle, I'm going to let Chad go through some of these bullet points, but his top priority is confiscating firearms, but there's a whole list of things that he's been on the record as being, in support of, and this guy is bad news, and we're going to go over some of those things. But guys, we have to oppose this at every turn. I know we say it all the time. We have to get active because look, the other side, they're active. Look at this. There's a pile of crap. They're throwing spaghetti at the wall. Even if nothing sticks, it doesn't matter. What does it do? It shows solidarity on their part. It shows that at least they have a plan. At least they're doing something. In their mind, they're doing something. And their constituents think that they're doing something. But what are the pro-gun people doing? Sitting around and bickering with each other? That's the wrong answer. We have to get active, and we have to fight this stuff just as readily as they're introducing this stuff. Don't get me started on that rant. We don't want to get down that rabbit hole. However, it's important that we band together and show solidarity because the left, honestly, I don't even think it's a left and right issue anymore. The enemy of our republic is showing their true colors on a regular basis. It's not even a left and right thing anymore. I don't even like that term anymore. I hate hearing people say left and right because I saw a meme from 9mm SMG. It said it doesn't matter what boot you have to lick. If it's a left or the right boot, it's still a boot. None of that even matters anymore. Because I'm convinced that all these politicians are a bunch of crooks. All of them.
So,
hi, Chad.
Hi. So William Barr served as Attorney General one time prior under H.W. Bush, and a lot of these articles that are out here and talking about his anti-gun rhetoric and such mostly comes from Senate hearings and stuff back in the day. But he recently kind of regurgitated some of that stuff in his recent committee hearings. He spat on the Second Amendment on Tuesday and threatened to break down doors in the middle of the night in order to confiscate our guns. Talking about red flag laws, things like that.
Is he going to break down the door?
I don't know. He's probably going to send somebody else because he's the AG. He's the Attorney General, so he's going to send somebody else out there.
Are they going to do it?
They going to do it. Whoever they is. Local cops, whatever the case is.
I'd like to know who they is. I wish they would step forward and identify themselves so we can identify those people.
There's also another underlying problem with this whole situation is that you have multiple pro-gun organizations that are some support Barr, like the National Shooting Sports Foundation, NSSF. They support Barr openly, but then other organizations don't. And like, which one's right? Who do I follow? Red flag laws are 100% unconstitutional, no matter how you want to look at it. Reasonable regulations, unconstitutional, no matter how you want to look at it. There's only one right. The rest of it is all wrong. And William Barr, as the Attorney General, is all wrong. Listen to this. All right, so
Let's hit on the bullet points.
Barr currently supports gun confiscation orders, red flag laws. During the Clinton administrations, the semi-auto ban that Barr supported was signed into law. That was the '94 Brady bill, creating a backlash so extreme that Democrats who supported the Barr package were thrown out of Congress in large numbers for the first time in a generation. That was the mass exodus in Congress after the bill passed in '94, where it was basically a red wave, more or less, in Congress.
You think they would learn?
You'd think so. Gun control was shown to be a political loser. Given this fact and given that President Trump has nominated Barr, we were hopeful this was evidence that Barr had come around over the past few years. After all, the president promised the American people that the 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. We see that that's not the case. Sadly, the Attorney General nominee is still a committed anti-gunner. In an answer to a question by anti-gun Dianne Feinstein on Tuesday, Barr said his top gun priority will be gun confiscation orders. That is the Attorney General's top priority is gun confiscation orders. Take the guns first, due process later. Oh well, so sorry if you get shot, I guess. Oh well, you meant to get shot.
Or if your dog gets shot, or if they got the wrong address, they don't care. As long as they get your guns, and as long as they feel like there's even an inkling of legitimacy to them coming to take your guns, they're only giving themselves a tiny benefit of the doubt in their own crooked minds by doing that. But at the end of the day, if somebody shows up to your house to take your guns, and you have no right, no ability to face your accuser or know why they're being taken, I'm sorry, but that's gun confiscation. They can.
You need to go get the blood pressure?
No, I'm good.
No, not today.
I'm good. I ate my Wheaties this morning. All right.
So throw due process out the window. Just to make it clear, under these Orwellian gun confiscation orders, a secret court can strip a gun owner of his constitutional rights based on a showing as low as reasonable suspicion that the person is dangerous.
And who gets to decide that reasonable suspicion? Who gets to be in that secret court?
Well, see, we've already talked about this in the previous gripe, and that the bill or the text of the bill in question for national red flag laws wasn't even available at the time we cut the video. I don't even know if it's available on congress.gov right now, so we can't even see
None of this crap's available.
No, I know. You can't even see what's in it and what additions they may have made based on some of the state level laws like we were talking about before. Right now it's family members, but that includes, like we talked about before, if you have a child with someone else and you are not married, that person could turn you in. That's
for
not
no reason.
Family. I mean, not technically. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you got mad because the child support was late, or you got mad because they saw you with somebody else, and it could be jealousy or fit of rage or anything, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're in hot water for no reason.
This is so funny because we were just talking about this earlier, and we were talking about Minority Report. If you guys haven't seen that movie, it's a real eye opener when it comes to this kind of stuff. The gun owner doesn't even have to be accused of committing a crime, and yet he can have his Second Amendment protected rights suspended in truly Minority Report fashion, even though he or she was never going to commit a crime.
The reason that when they say Orwellian, and they talk about George Orwell, they're referring to George Orwell, and they're mainly referring to the book 1984. And if you haven't seen the film or read the book, you need to read 1984, and honestly, the movie Minority Report, like Chad said, is a pretty stark contrast. Minority Report and 1984 go hand in hand, I believe, in terms of that sort of, oh, you thunked the wrong thing, that whole, think speak kind of thing. They want to control everything that you do, every aspect of your life from cradle to grave. That is the ultimate goal. And if you were too blind to see that, that is what government wants, is that control, then sorry for you. You're living under a rock, and you need to get out from under it and open your eyes, do a little bit of reading, and not be spoon-fed all the crap you see on the news, social media, and all that kind of crap all the time. It's scary when the Second Amendment is treated in a way that, oh, well, you're a criminal, you just don't know it yet. Because that's basically what they're saying is, oh, well, if you own a gun, then you have the intention to commit a crime. Mm-hmm. What?
You're dangerous if you own firearms.
What?
Didn't you know?
What? So wait a minute. So if I go buy a car, is the police officer going to be waiting at the car dealership to write me speeding tickets preemptively because I'll probably am going to speed when I buy the car? No. Why is it the only thing treated that way? Why is the Second Amendment the only thing treated that way? Right? If a drunk driver goes out and kills somebody in a drunk driving accident because he's dumb and gets behind the wheel and he's inebriated and can't have proper judgment and hurt somebody, do we take away all the driver's license for all the people that aren't drunk? No. Mm-hmm. So why is the Second Amendment the only thing that gets treated that way? It's asinine. It does not make any sense. Mm-hmm. Complete void of logic. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
Proceed.
Good. You're good. Let's see.
I'm fired up today.
No. The first thing the gun owner learns of is the obliteration of his Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendment rights is the knock on the door in the middle of the
counting?
night. Yeah. So just a blatant violation of multiple rights. Knock on the door in the middle of the night by police ready to ransack his house, and if he resists, to arrest or kill him. I mean, and here's talking about Gary Willis in Maryland. He was shot to death when he answered his door at 5:17 in the morning.
We already discussed that in a previous gripe if you want to check that out.
You get a knock on the door at 5 o'clock in the morning, there ain't nobody supposed to be at the door at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, people can hate me for that, but that's a bad call on the police's part. Sorry. That could have been done a lot better.
I mean, yeah, and what happens when they get the wrong address, go to the wrong person's house? I mean, what if you happen to be a gun owner and you're just average Joe, minding your own business, sleeping, and somebody kicks in the door in the middle of the night? What are you going to do? What if the intention was for them to go to your neighbor's house and not yours, and they went to the wrong house? And then what? You get shot up over nothing. Mm-hmm. When what they were going to the other person's house for was nothing to begin with, too. It's stupid.
Just here in Atlanta, there's been innocent people, killed, I should say murdered by police who had the wrong address when they're doing middle of the night drug raids, no-knock warrants, that kind of crap. There's been kids that have been injured permanently for life, by flashbangs winding up in their cribs. I mean, and there's no rebuttal for that. It's like they just have all the absolute power, and it's like, oh, well, sorry for your loss. Oops.
Yeah, they can do it.
Sorry, no.
And not be liable.
Sorry.
But the minute we do something wrong or slip up, which we're going to talk about in a future gun gripe, we get, chastised and put it, we have to get raked over the coals.
Yep. So Mr. Willis is dead because of Maryland's gun confiscation orders, and there's likely to be more casualties the further along these laws, get in the queue here. But we understand that Barr, this is all from GOA, by the way, we understand that Barr claims to believe the Second Amendment is an individual right after the Supreme Court said it was in the Heller case. Yes, so does Michael Bloomberg. That's no protection at all, especially when he thinks that your rights can be subjected to reasonable restrictions that include proposals to confiscate firearms. Everything goes back to this reasonable restrictions. I mean, in sum, Barr is an effective and persistent enemy of the Second Amendment and the Constitution in general. So please email your senators and urge them to oppose the nomination of William Barr. So GOA puts up these, they have these pre-written letters and stuff. All you have to do is put in your email box, send it off, pick up the phone. All the information is right there. They make it extremely simple for you to contact your representatives who are solely responsible for confirming this particular person to the Attorney General's position. And I find it very, very, troubling that multiple pro-gun rights groups and such are promoting this. I mean, the NSSF, but the NRA is quiet about this too. Go figure. So, did they support the nomination?
And then Trump supporting the nomination. It just doesn't. It's just too much going on. It's all smoke and mirrors. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make you, be ignorant of what they're really doing. So it's like, oh, let's put all this out there. Let's do all this. Let's do all this. And then while you're looking at all that and going, what in the world? They're going behind their back and doing something else. They're like snakes in the grass. You can't trust them. And it's like these are supposed to be people that have the public's trust. They're nominated by the people. They are elected by the people to perform a job. They put their hand on that Bible and they take that oath to protect your rights and to obey the Constitution. And that the Constitution is the ultimate law of the land. And they're literally just laughing at that oath and just doing what they want. And they're abusing their office to obtain more power. And they're stripping your freedoms every day. And it drives me insane to think that these people run free, at best free.
Mm-hmm. So here's a couple of conflicting statements regarding Barr. So this is from Dr. John Lott, president of the Crime Research Prevention Center. This was right before the confirmation hearings began. Gun control questions will be on the agenda for William Barr, both because of his willingness during the 1991 confirmation hearing to accept under certain conditions an assault weapons ban, as well as concerns about red flag laws, also called extreme risk protection orders. We already discussed extreme risk protection orders, but laws never spell out exacting criteria for meeting these evidentiary thresholds. It is left to the eye of the beholder, in this case, a single judge, to determine if someone poses a danger.
Who appoints those judges?
Those who are involved in enforcing these laws will identify people based on violent histories or even the basis of age or gender, but people who are convicted of felonies are already prohibited from owning firearms. Current laws on the books not being enforced properly that need to be enforced. If a gun control advocate thinks that people should lose the right to self-defense because of a simple arrest, there's a real concern that blacks and Hispanics will be disproportionately targeted by these laws since both groups have a higher arrest rate records, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is yakety yak. All right, now here's from the NSSF. Based on available testimony, President Trump's nominee for Attorney General is one which the firearms industry and gun owners find confidence in to protect the rights and focus efforts to reduce the criminal misuse of firearms where it is most needed. What? What? Wait a minute. His nominee for Attorney General is one which the firearms industry and gun owners find confidence in. Do you? I don't. I mean,
at this point,
just a bulk generalization.
At this point, I would trust the first 5 people in the nearest McDonald's restaurant over the first 5 people I run into on that hill. I'll tell you right now, I would rather blindfold myself and open up a phone book and point at random names and say, you're in charge, than to trust that person. It really, really ticks me off to think about it all. And guys, the most important thing to take away from this video, I know we got a little heated, we ran it a bit, we vented hopefully a little bit. We have to oppose the nomination of William Barr. It is so important, guys, that you contact your reps and tell them not to support this nomination. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very important. Almost more important than the assault weapons ban that's being proposed. And look, we're not trying to say that the assault weapons ban that Feinstein submitted this year is not something to be concerned about. All it is a proverbial spaghetti being thrown at the wall and hoping that it sticks. We know it probably won't stick, but that's no reason to. This is a distraction to distract you from this.
There's no reason to be complacent, which has been going on for a very long time.
Right.
Complacency is what got us to where we are right now.
Agreed. We have to fight this tooth and nail, guys. Support the GOA, support the FPC, support their efforts, guys. And make sure you're contacting your reps. Make sure you're doing your part. Tell your friends. Tell everybody you know that loves guns. This is very important. We cannot sit on the sidelines. We have to be active. We have to do stuff. Guys, it takes 2 seconds. While you're listening to this video, if you're on your computer, open up another dang tab while you're listening to us talk and just fire off an email, write down the phone number. Look, save the phone number here in your phone. And when you're on the road, driving to work or something, you have, 20, 30 minutes to kill, make a call. Guys, it just takes a little bit of time. Look, do you have your representatives' phone numbers programmed in your phone where you can speed dial them and contact them? Guys, add them in your phone. Make the effort. We all have to, groups like GOA and FPC, they can help. Yes, there's lawsuits and all these things that they do. They can get the grassroots efforts and get the word out. But guys, it's ultimately up to us to fight this fight together. We all have to get together on this. Whether you like the NRA or don't like the NRA, or whether or not, maybe you think GOA and FPC are a bunch of goons, whatever. All of that is irrelevant. If you're a pro-gun guy, we have to look at this from the same perspective. This isn't about groups anymore. This is about, they're literally gunning for you. They're going to come shoot you in the middle of the night and take your guns. That's what they're saying.
We've said this before, but I wish I had saved it on my phone. I read this little story last night about a local city council that they were thinking about passing some pretty strict regulations as far as firearms ownership within the municipality that this occurred in. I don't know where it was, what city or where even state it was in. I don't remember at this point, but people showed up in droves. Gun owners showed up in droves to fight this, and they deliberated for a very long time and voiced their complaints to this particular city council. And guess what happened? That law that they were thinking about putting in place got vetoed out of existence. It just got, bye, see you later. Because people showed up and they made their voices heard. If you think you can't make a difference, you certainly can. Now that's just on a very small scale. That is a city, within a county, within a state, within a country. Okay, right. But
it's a microcosm for the big picture.
That's where all this stuff starts. Grassroots. That is grassroots activism. If you don't like something, then you make your voice heard in whatever capacity that you are able to.
Gun ownership is the most crucial and essential civil right that we have. It is a civil right. And you want to talk about civil rights, you want to talk about all this stuff. Gun ownership is the cornerstone of civil rights.
It's one of our unalienable rights.
Absolutely.
That no one gave us. We are ingrained with these rights when we are born. Unalienable. That's unalienable. Not to be messed with.
Right. Shall not be infringed. I don't understand. I mean, somebody puts their hand on the Bible and swears an oath and breaks it every day, and we just sit around like it's okay. It's not okay. Guys, thanks for watching today's video. We have many more gun gripes on the way. As I said in the intro, bear with us, guys. We're going to have a lot more gripes coming than you're probably used to seeing. It'll be mixed in with our normal content. We hope that you'll check out our other content as well. We feel it's very important to strike while the iron's hot. When they roll out a punch, we got to duck and punch back. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. We have to stay on top of this stuff. And with gun gripes, with our channel and what we do here on YouTube, we feel it's very important to use our voice to put these things out to you guys. So I want to say thank you to all of our viewers who support us directly. Without you, we would really be nothing. We would not be able to do this, these videos and put out this content without your ongoing support. So those of you who purchase man cans, t-shirts over on the website, merchandise on the website, hoodies, or if you donate on Patreon, anything that you do to help us out in terms of directly supporting the channel goes right back into putting out this content. Guys, we are totally on board with GOA. So anything that Eric or Jordan or any of the guys over there, if they contact me and they say, hey, this is what we have going on, we really want to use our channel as a microphone to put these things out there for you guys so you know what's going on, to bring it to your attention. So we hope you understand that we're only trying to help the Second Amendment community. We want to put this information out there, and we want you guys to get involved, and that's the grain of it that we're going off of. So thank you guys very much for the support. Those of you who support us and watch continuously, thank you for your viewership. And we have many more videos on the way, many more gun gripes.
Oh, a lot more. We'll be seeing you guys.
Have a good one.